Hey guys, it's been a while, but I mean, not a while. I put content up, but I really wanted to come upstairs, do a little bit of a talkie video, a little bit of a show and tell, a little bit of a favorites, because I feel like I haven't really been doing a whole lot of those lately, and I kind of want to show you guys some stuff that I got, that I liked the past month, some stuff that I recently acquired that I'm gonna be enjoying this month, shit like that. It's hot as hell up here, so I gotta crack my fan every now and then to, relax in the cold, because I don't know, it's just really intense weather right here now in the Netherlands. So funny thing, I already filmed this video kind of, but it was in top-down view, and it didn't feel good because I felt like I wanted to, just show and tell literally. So I'm just gonna very old school-esque hold shit up to, hold shit up here like an actual influencer. And part of the reason why I wanted to come up here is because I am right now running a Kickstarter for my Oracle deck, the Brother to Brother Oracle. This is not the final box design at all, by the way. It's been finished, but yeah. And I found that running a Kickstarter is extremely stressful, especially for a total Taurus Earth baby like me. Taurus, Gemini are like most of my placements are Taurus, Gemini, some Sagittarius stuff here and there. And I had the worst day ever yesterday, where I was just frantically checking the Kickstarter all day, every day. And I was like, no, I don't want that. I don't want to do that. It feels really bad. And I was like, I gotta get out there. So I talked a little bit to Martin. Willem came home and he was like, yeah, you know what, we're just gonna visit some friends and get your ass out there. So that was really good. And yesterday afternoon I did this reading, and this is really funny actually. I hope I can show you. Can I show you? No, this is my charm casting kit. I'm going to have to stand up right now. I'm a bit of a mess, sorry. But I already got it. And you can see my seductive chest. My seductive breastises. Last year, during the COVID pandemic, this little deck came out, and it was kind of a flop. It's called The Tarot Reconnect With You by Sarah Bartlett. Sarah has published many books on tarot, and this was a deck. I had never read any of her books before. The deck is actually really cute. I did a full review, very in-depth on this channel. It's a total pip deck, kind of a lazy pip deck at that as well. But it's very, I don't know, it's a very Instagrammable aesthetic deck, kind of. But it's also a little bit forgettable. People, all the people that have gotten this are kind of like, meh, moving on, next. So did I. But the funny thing is, I paid around 12 euros for this. It was really affordable, really cheap. The card quality of this deck is not bad, actually. It has all the cards, so it's a deck that I can use, but the magic in the set was actually in the book. It's a really cute little guidebook, 125 pages. And there's actually like a lot of exercises. So for each suit, you get exercises, which is really cool. It's actually a really neat little book on tarot, and it's kind of a shame that it came with such a shitty deck. Can I say that? It's not even that shitty, but it's, this set is being presented as a beginner's deck when it's clearly not. It was kind of haphazardly put together with, purchased artwork that anyone can purchase from this site. So, that's okay, but the magic lies in the spread section, because apparently Sarah is very good at devising and collecting all these different spreads. And my favorite spread from this book is called The Labyrinth, and that's a spread I did yesterday where you lay out 4 cards for each direction, just like this. So you get north, south, east, and west. And the north, south, east, and west represent paths that you could take. And what I like to do is I like to kind of use this spread in 2 different ways. One way is the way she describes in the book, where she kind of explains what these directions stand for, and she kind of says, okay, if you want to, you know more about where your senses lead, pick north. If you want to know where your passion and vision, where your intuition and instinct lead, pick south. If you want to know where your wisdom and where your mind leads, pick east. And if you want to know where your heart and soul lead, pick west. And she says, pick one of them and pick them in order of importance to you. So you just turn over the cards, read it for that direction. But what I also like to do, and I did do this yesterday, and then after I've done the reading, I will also check all the other directions. I pick one. So I kind of do this thing where I say, okay, I kind of want to go more into that, that emotional direction, so that's the path I'm choosing, and then it becomes sort of this really cool fortune telling, choose your own adventure thing, where you flip over the cards and you're like, okay, that's the path. Now, what would I have chosen differently? You can check that after. So I really enjoyed that, and it's actually a really cute little, this is not very thick, but it's actually like the contents of this book are really it's a really cute thing to have, and I reference it a lot, especially for the spreads and for the exercises that she puts in here. So it's actually really cute. So I enjoyed this. The deck, this is the kind of deck that I have it in a bag, because this set doesn't come with a box. It comes with a piece of cardboard and cellophane wrapping. But this is the kind of deck that I would take with me, as a quickie deck in my bag on vacation, going to the campsite, because if this deck gets damaged, I wouldn't feel torn apart. And especially, sometimes we go to this campsite where people want me to read for them, and especially when people don't know anything about the tarot, certain cards that are normally pictorial in the Rider-Waite might scare them off, and this is a bit more abstract. So it's cute. So this is kind of a travel deck for me. So this goes back into the little pouch. So that was the Tarot Reconnect with You. I do have a longer, more in-depth video on this on my channel. But I really, and especially that spread, in that Kickstarter anxiety craziness, that really soothed me and calmed me down, so that was really nice. Another thing I really enjoyed book-wise, and from the books we're gonna segue into the cards, was this Hex Life. This is a very well curated fantasy short story book. It's been edited by Christopher Golden and Rachel Autumn Deering, and they're all wicked new tales of witchery. I have a love-hate relationship with short story books, because sometimes they're very good, sometimes they're very bad, and most of the times 2 or 3 stories in the book are absolute zingers, which will make you love the book at the end, but the rest are usually very meh. With this book, every story was a total zinger. My favorites included this book about this story, Bless Your Heart, written by Hilary Monahan, which is kind of about this mom who has a gay son. She lives in the south of America. Her son gets beaten to pulp every day, and she knows that the leader of the parent association is the mom, actually, of the kid that beats up her kid. So she joins that association, and she tries to get the bullying on the agenda, but the other mom is constantly blocking it. And then she bakes this cake, and she works her magic into this cake the way her mama taught her. And the other mother takes a bite, and shit's about to go down. So I loved that. But I also really liked, literally liked every story in here. Some stories kind of left me wanting more. Some stories are by authors who already have published books in a series, and then this story is kind of a spin-off off of that series. So sometimes you would kind of feel like, hey, these characters feel very fleshed out, which is great in a short story, but I feel like I'm kind of missing out on something. Normally I'm very bothered by that, but this was so skillfully written, most of the stories that had this, that it didn't bug me at all. Another favorite was How to Become a Witch Queen, which was kind of a spin on Snow White, what happened after. Really interesting. And another one that I really adored was, I think it was Widow's Walk. Yeah. Widow's Walk was a story about 3 witchy widows living in this house. Kid comes by, steals their milk every day. They grab the kid, and instead of punishing the kid, they sort of recognize that this kid is probably doing it for a reason, you know, stealing milk. The kid looks very malnutritioned, and they decide to help the kid, but it gets a little bit twisted. So all the stories in this book, this is one of those short story books that I could keep in my bag forever and just randomly, I already kind of want to reread it right now. So I read this cover to cover. I did one story every night before bedtime. Sometimes if the story was a bit long, I took 2 nights. I read about an hour in bed, half an hour to an hour every night before I go to sleep. This was so entertaining, like 100% a must buy. I saw this was very cheap on Amazon, so Hex Life, get it. Really, really, really good. This is a book that I got that I didn't read yet. I got this because Martin wanted me to get it, and this is a pretty standard looking tarot book, but there's a lot of cool little extras in here. It's called Wild Card. It's in this gorgeous hardcover edition, gorgeous cover art, gold foiling. Unfortunately, the paper inside does feel a little bit on the cheaper side, probably because they had to trade off having this hardback release versus, you know, higher quality paper. They use sort of a Rider-Waite hybrid in the pictures in this book that I have actually never seen before, because the first time I saw it, I thought, hey, this is just black and white tracings of the Rider-Waite, or just black and white photocopies, but it's actually not. It's actually sort of their own thing, so that's really cool. I wonder if it mentions where it comes from, because I haven't read this yet, and I kind of want to. So this is one that I'm looking forward to and that I'm gonna read. Illustrations. Doesn't really say in the colophon. So maybe they did it. I don't know, but it's actually really, really, really cool. Oh, illustrations by Mel Four. Never heard of her. Will be looking her up on Instagram. But next to your, you know, standard tarot cards stuff, there's a lot of things like simple readings, practical magic, where next, the cards at a glance, references. This is, you know, I kind of feel like I like having a fresh take every now and then. Like even the references is almost like a very good bibliography that I kind of want to read. They start with the minors. I like it when tarot books do that because the minors very often get overlooked. There's a section on questions to ask yourself. There's a bit of resources and guides and cool stores, especially in the UK, that you can visit. Different tarot decks that they think is cool. It's actually a really sweet little book. It does look a bit beginner centered, but I got it because I am kind of longing for more European voices in the tarot world. I wanted to support these girls, and I can't wait to dive into this, so more on this later. Oh yeah, and I also got this really cute bracelet that I actually took off for the video. this really cute little Archangel Gabriel bracelet. It's not focusing. Is it focusing now? Oh, it is a little bit. Well, anyways, it's this really cute little bracelet with Archangel Gabriel as a pendant, and then moonstone interlaced with the wooden beads. And I thought this was really cool because normally angel stuff looks, you know, kind of like super girly or stuff like that, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I like that this was a bit more neutral and a bit more trendy. So yeah, cute little bracelet. I don't know why I took it off because I could have shown you like this, but yeah, got this. Got this, love this. Up next, so Martin and I did this this live on fortune telling and cartomancy decks, and I referenced this book, and this book is it is my favorite tarot book. And one little section especially caught my attention. I have shown this before, the Hieroglyphic Tarot of Madame de Laura de la Haye. And it caught my attention so much that I actually did some research. There's this really cool girl called Divination Lady on here. She works with the Grand Jeu Lenormand, the big Lenormand, the astrological Lenormand, and she also, funnily enough, likes these antique cartomancy decks just like I do. And she actually owned a copy of the Hieroglyphic Tarot, or even better, she made it herself, because you can actually download these off the internet. It's sort of this French library site that has pretty high quality scans. So I was like, I'm gonna make one. But the format was the format of these cards is not tarot size. It's that weird longer tarot size. So I tried uploading them into make playing cards. It didn't work. And then I thought, you know what? I'm going to have to make my own. And I did. So I quickly want to show you guys that. So now we are actually going to switch to top-down view so I can show you those cards and maybe even more. So I'll see you downstairs. La la, here we are. This is a little tuck box that I have them in. Yeah, I created my own backs because I didn't like the original backs. They were cute. I know this is blasphemy, but here they are. I'm going to zoom us in a little bit. So these are Madame de Laura's fortune telling cards, and they're really cool. I'm just going to flick through them while I talk about them so you guys can see them all. This is a 22 card majors only deck, sort of. It's not completely, and I need a little bit of a vape. Yes, that feels good. So this is 22 cards. I say it's a majors only deck, but this does feature symbolism that is different from a regular tarot deck. So yeah, we start with La Consultante, which has sort of these are not in order, by the way, which has sort of a high priestess vibe, and this is a consultant card. La Fortune, which is sort of a wheel of fortune card. La Terre, which is the world. Then we have La Reine, which is kind of the Empress. Le Fou, which is kind of the Fool. The Vase, which kind of has this, where do I put this? I'm a mess. It kind of has this Ace of Cups / the world kind of feel a little bit. La Force, which is strength, which features Hercules and his lion cloth, so that's interesting. Le Boulier, which I don't know really features in any other tarot deck, so this is a completely different one. Le Supplice, which is kind of a hanged man kind of situation. La Tempérance, which is temperance. La Four, or the Tower. La Volant, which is not in any tarot deck at all, which means will. Le Soleil, which is obviously the sun. I love this. This is one of my favorite ones. La Voie Lactée, kind of star-esque, you would say, right? So this kind of reminds me of the star. Then we have the Le Consultant, which is the first card in the deck. kind of just like a bland male figure a little bit. Then we have La Croix, the cross, which we don't really see in a regular tarot deck. La Balance, which is kind of justice-esque. Le Démon, which is the devil. L'amour, which you would probably think of as the star, but this is actually the lovers, so that's interesting. La Mort, which is death. La Lune, which is the moon, also one of my favorites. I love the way this little vignette plays out in this border. Le Roi, which is also a male consultant and kind of doubles as an emperor. So they're really cool cards. What I did was I uploaded those online pictures I found into Procreate. First, I spent hours tracing the whole border because that was a lot of work. Then I colored the border in, and once I had that, I could just copy paste that across 22 different templates and then add in the illustrations, trace those, color those in, and then add the text. Because this deck is originally a French deck, but I translated all these cards into English. So all the language that's on here is actually used to be French. I translated it all. So each card has a couple of sections. We get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Yes, I thought we were missing something, but we aren't actually. 7 sections. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the last section at the bottom. Okay, so what you kind of do is, I'm already doing it wrong. So you're supposed to handpick a consultant card that you feel like you can identify with. So we kind of get this younger guy here, specifically says he's a consultant. Then you're supposed to shuffle the cards, and this is just one way of using them, and you don't even use all the sections yet, but I was actually, this way of using the deck triggered me to make my own because I liked that idea. So you shuffle the cards and then you pick 2 more. So I just shuffled the little deck and you place them on either side of the main consultant card. And then you look just at the symbols that are right here. So this has a coin for a symbol, which means that you see all these lines of text here, that you, for the top card, you read the coin line. So it says small gift. You do the same thing for the other card. Then you go down here and it says chance profit. But, however, the last section says if this is between 2 coins, very favorable signs of happiness. So sometimes you get a little bit of an extra message or the message alternates. But I found that to become kind of boring because there's only like 4 consultant cards in the deck, so you'll be kind of bored after a while. So you could also just do this with random cards that aren't consultant cards. So I'm going to pick a random card and do the same thing. So let's do this. Oh, here we go. This is not a consultant card. We got the cross. And then I'm going to pull, oh, we got the previous consultant card. And then I'm going to pull the moon. So that's actually pretty cool. So it's definitely not between 2 anythings because these 2 have different symbols. So basically, if you lay down 3 cards, you should always check, hey, are these the same? And does that have consequences for the reading at the bottom and in section 7? It doesn't, or section 7. It doesn't really. So the cross, we get coin for the top message. Papers will be found, important papers. Then we get the wands right here. Unsuccessful approaches will be happening. Okay, so people are going to approach you or you are going to approach people. Those are unsuccessful. You could actually keep pulling cards and putting them sideways and read them like that. So now this is the consultant card and I'll be reading these 2 for their symbols and we'll be reading the messages on this. And now this is the consultant card and I'll be reading these 2 for their messages in here, if you get what I'm saying. So you could do that, but then there's always also these Kabbalistic Hebrew letters, the Roman letters. There's an There's a sort of a zodiac sign or planet or, you know, a thing in there. I didn't even like begin to learn what they're all about, but I just really liked how cute and nifty this little system was. It literally reads like a fortune telling game. It looks really cool. I love how retro these still look, although I did use some bolder colors sometimes than suggested in the original like PDF file. It was all very like muddy, so I did spice things up a little bit here and there. But I love this. So that was one of the things. And then I kept talking about Madame Delora, Madame Delora, and Martin was like, what about Madame Endora? And I was like, what? What's that again? It's this. Madame Endora's fortune card. So this is new. I haven't worked with it yet, but this is a sort of what a fortune telling card deck could look like if there was some modern publisher sort of trying to create something old looking. So Madame Endora of course doesn't exist, but this comes with a fabulous book that Martin will be sending me soon. But I got the cards in already, and these are all very symbol based. So you got the Sphinx, choose your words carefully, the Spider, be meticulous and patient. There is kind of a system, I could already kind of tell from the Little White Book. The Queen, love and prosperity. The Seer, follow your intuition. This is very readable because this has messages on the cards, but it is very fortune teller-esque. It's kind of a Lenormand tarot hybrid almost. Sort of, actually, like the Madame Delora cards I just showed you, which is also kind of a Tarot, Sibylla, Itea hybrid. So I do like this a lot. You know, it's hitting me right in the cartomancy fortune teller feels. So, but this is just by a company. It's by the company that also did the Gothic Tarot, so that's Monolith Graphics. So there is no Madame Endora, and this is not some old deck that was found. This was fairly newly created. But I do seem to like notice that I like these attempts at creating these more ancient looking fortune telling cards a lot. So I do like the attempts, and I do like working with them. So it's really cute. I like it a lot. And so now we had a lot of things that I did work with. I'm not going to show them all. You can find a plethora of flip throughs on YouTube. So I enjoy working with, I showed you some things that I already did work with that I liked. I showed you some things that I have yet to work with or that I have yet to read, but that I also am looking forward to. And now we're all caught up, and now I can, you know, get back to being a bit more relaxed about life and about things, because honestly, that Kickstarter launch, it's intense. Putting yourself out there is intense. I don't want to also be too pluggy all the time, but if you wanted to support me, the Brother to Brother Oracle is now on Kickstarter till the end of the month. Even if you're not necessarily into the deck, you could also just donate a couple of dollars, a couple of euros, just to support a friend. I would really appreciate that. Every little bit helps. And thank you very much. This has been Levi, and